Right now, somewhere in your nose, a tiny rebellion is brewing. You feel it before you understand it. A flicker, a tickle, a weird little itch you can't quite scratch. Your eyes start to squint without permission. Your breath stalls halfway in. And for one strange second, your whole body braces. Not for danger. Not for movement. For a sneeze. You've done it 1,000 times, but you've probably never asked the better question. Not what a sneeze sounds like, but what your body is secretly doing in the 3 seconds before one explodes out of you. Because the truth is, a sneeze is not a simple thing. It is a coordinated, full-body emergency drill that hijacks your face, your lungs, your eyes, and your brain all at once. And it begins long before you ever say, achoo. Let's slow it down. Way down. Imagine pressing pause about 3 seconds before your next sneeze. Inside your nose, something has just trespassed. It could be a speck of dust, a whiff of pepper, a stray pet hair, or a burst of cold air. Your nose treats it like a tiny intruder crossing a border, and that border is not as quiet as it looks. The inside of your nose is lined with delicate tissue packed with sensory nerve endings, most of them branches of a nerve called the trigeminal nerve. This nerve is basically your face's security guard. It watches your nostrils, your cheeks, your forehead, and your eyes, waiting for anything that doesn't belong. The moment something irritating brushes that lining, the trigeminal nerve fires off a tiny chemical alarm straight to your brainstem. And here's the strange part. The decision to sneeze is not made in the thinking part of your brain at all. It's made in a small cluster of cells deep in your brainstem that scientists sometimes call the sneeze center. You don't vote on it. It votes on you. Once that center decides a sneeze is coming, your body has roughly 2 to 3 seconds to prepare. And in those seconds, a lot of weird things happen at once. First, your breathing changes. You suck in a sharp, deep breath, almost involuntarily. Your lungs fill up like a pair of balloons pulled tight. Your diaphragm, the big sheet of muscle under your ribs, flattens down hard to make room. Your chest rises. Your shoulders lift. Your whole torso is loading up like a spring. Meanwhile, your throat is doing something sneaky. A small flap of tissue called the soft palate lifts to seal off your mouth and nose from each other in just the right way. Your vocal cords snap shut, trapping all that incoming air inside your chest under pressure. For a brief moment, you are essentially a sealed, pressurized container with a very irritated nose. Now look at your face. It's doing something fascinating too. Your nostrils flare slightly, your upper lip tenses, your cheeks tighten. And almost without exception, your eyes start to close. This is one of the most famous sneeze quirks, and people love to debate it. Can you sneeze with your eyes open? For most of us, not really. The reflex pulls your eyelids shut automatically. Scientists think this is a built-in protective gesture, a little blink before the storm. It is not, as the old myth claims, because your eyeballs would pop out if they stayed open. That is not how eyeballs work, and your skull is not that flimsy. Your eyes close more like a shield slamming down, instinctively, defensively, just in case. But the closing of the eyes is just one small move in a much bigger choreography. Because while your face is bracing deeper inside, something even stranger is happening. The lining of your nose starts to swell. Tiny blood vessels there dilate, flushing the area with extra fluid. Mucus production ramps up. Your nose, in effect, is getting wet and slippery on purpose, like a slide built in real time, so whatever is irritating you has an easier path out. Your tear ducts often join in too. That little watery sting in your eyes? It's the same plumbing system, getting nudged by the same nerves, all linked to the same nasal cavity. Your body is not just preparing to expel something, it is rinsing the launch pad. And here's something that genuinely sounds fake, but isn't. Some people sneeze when they look at bright light. This is called the photic sneeze reflex, and it runs in families. Researchers think the wires between your eye nerves and your nose nerves are bundled so closely in the brainstem that a sudden flash of light can accidentally trigger the sneeze circuit next door. Step into the sun, and your brain gets a signal that, somewhere along the line, gets read as nose irritation. It's not fully understood yet, and scientists still debate exactly why it happens. But if you sneeze every time you walk outside on a sunny day, you have a built-in glitch you can blame on biology. Other people sneeze when their stomach is too full, when they pluck a hair, or when they feel a strong emotion. These are all theorized to be little crossed wires in the same neighborhood of your nervous system, the trigeminal nerve quietly listening to the wrong conversation. Pause for a second. Think about how strange this all is. A speck of dust the size of a flour grain can hijack your lungs, lock your throat, close your eyes, water your face, and yank your whole body into a coordinated explosion. And you don't get a say in any of it. Now, here's a question for you before we go further. Have you ever felt a sneeze coming, almost had it, and then lost it? That weird, suspended, half-finished feeling? Tell me in the comments which is worse, the sneeze you can't stop or the one you can't finish. I genuinely want to know. Because that lost sneeze feeling reveals something important about what's happening underneath. A sneeze doesn't fire until enough irritation signals stack up at that brainstem control center to cross a threshold. If the irritation fades just a little too soon, or if you accidentally distract your nervous system by, say, looking at a bright light, pressing your upper lip, or breathing differently, the signal never quite reaches the tipping point. Your body has loaded the spring, lifted the soft palate, taken the breath, and then the launch order never comes. It's not just annoying, it's a tiny window into how delicately balanced this whole reflex really is. Now back to the buildup, because the most dramatic second is still ahead. In that final moment before the sneeze, pressure inside your chest is climbing fast. Your diaphragm is pushing up, your rib muscles are squeezing in, your vocal cords are still clamped shut. Air has nowhere to go. Your nervous system is essentially counting down. 3, 2, 1. Then the dam breaks. Your vocal cords snap open. Your soft palate drops. The pressurized air in your lungs blasts upward through your throat and out through your nose and mouth at remarkable speed, carrying mucus, dust, and microscopic invaders with it. The exact speed of a sneeze has been debated for years. Older estimates were dramatically high, and newer high-speed video research has revised them downward, but it is still genuinely fast and the droplet cloud travels surprisingly far. Scientists are still refining the numbers, so I'll leave it qualitative. It's one of the most powerful, sudden actions your body can perform without you choosing to. And the whole point of this little body-wide drama is beautifully simple. A sneeze is your nose doing housekeeping with extreme prejudice. It's clearing the runway, protecting your lungs, and reminding you in the rudest way possible that something didn't belong in there. There's also a reason it feels so complete. That post-sneeze release, the brief moment of achoo, happens because every muscle that was tensed suddenly drops. Your diaphragm relaxes. Your face softens. Your shoulders fall. Some researchers think a sneeze even briefly nudges your nervous system into a calmer parasympathetic state, which might be part of why a really good sneeze can feel oddly satisfying. Your body just ran a full emergency drill, found no real threat, and stood down. Of course it feels good. And here is the part that's easy to miss. You did almost none of it on purpose. You didn't choose the deep breath. You didn't choose to close your eyes. You didn't choose to clamp your throat, or flare your nostrils, or water your eyes, or fire your diaphragm. A tiny irritant tickled a nerve, and your brainstem ran an ancient, automatic program perfected over millions of years of evolution to keep your airways clean. You were, for those 3 seconds, a passenger in your own face. So the next time you feel that itch crawl up the back of your nose, that little flicker before the storm, pause for half a second and notice everything your body is quietly doing without asking you. The breath stacking up, the eyes pulling shut, the throat sealing, the chest tightening, the face bracing. A whole orchestra tuning up for one tiny, explosive note. And then finally, the sneeze. If your body just did something this dramatic to evict a speck of dust, imagine what else it's doing right now that you've never noticed. That's basically the whole point of this channel. So if you enjoyed crawling around inside your own nose with me, hit that like button, subscribe to Bodyquirk, and tell me in the comments, are you a quiet little sneezer or a window-rattling, room-clearing kind? I will judge you fairly. The next video gets even weirder, and trust me, you'll want to be here for it. 86 images.